finally taking a break from working on the Tacoma and the 4Runner. Today we've got the 4Runner and we're going on a bit of a camping trip. We're going to do some off-roading, some fishing, some camping, some cooking over the fire. It's been a long time since I've been able to get out to the mountains and get some camping in, so I've been looking forward to this for a while. Weather's looking beautiful this weekend, and I am just pumped to get out here and test out the truck after some modifications that I've done and just get out to the wilderness for a little while. By the time we get to camp, that's okay. This rig's pretty easy to set up. My bed's already set up at the back. I'll just get to pull into camp, roll into the back, and go to sleep. I'm out with my brother in his 1990 Toyota pickup, and his brothers-in-law in their Jeeps. One's got a Comanche, and the other has a old Cherokee. It's gonna be a good time. So I'm all ready for bed. All I had to really do was take the cooler out of the back, throw it up on top, and get my blankets out. We're waking up pretty early in the morning and we're heading up on a off-road trail to a waterfall, and it's about 3 hours. So we're getting up pretty early in the morning and hitting the trails. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'll see you guys in the morning. I did my diff breather relocation because it's the first 20 minutes and my diff's probably gone underwater about 10 times so far. So Saw quite a few browns in the 20-inch range. None of us managed to get any, but beautiful spot to throw a line out. There's another lake just half a mile on the other side of this one. Might see what we can find up there. Once again, no fish, but having a really tough time backcasting on these tight shores with the fly rod. So just keep losing flies in the trees. It's a little bit frustrating. Hopefully we can get out on the creek a little later. up above the big falls. It's just beautiful little waterfall, one after the other. Fortunately, I think the likelihood of there being fish in between all these waterfalls is pretty low. I've definitely caught fish up above some pretty significant waterfalls, but just one after the other like this, I think it's pretty unlikely. So for supper tonight, we've got a carbonara of sorts. So we've got here, got some linguine, a couple eggs, some pecorino, and the delicious but controversial turkey bacon. Italians would end a man for using pancetta instead of guanciale, and here I am using turkey bacon. Do not let the Italians see this video. I don't eat pork, so if you're wondering why I'm using turkey bacon, that is why. And this stuff is delicious. Most turkey bacon was never a fan of until I found this stuff, and it was life-changing. Want this stuff nice and crispy. This knife set, by the way, is one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. If I can find it on Amazon, I'll try and link it for you guys, because it's the best. Now this is getting super crispy. Pull off to the side, and then put the water on. We're gonna get one egg yolk in. In. And then we are going to shave a literal ton of pecorino into here. We're going to get the black pepper. Normally I'm a freshly cracked black pepper kind of guy, but we're camping. Whisk this bad way up. Let's get a little more pecorino in there. There we go. Off the heat. Turkey back on for just a second. Everything together. And then we're just going to mix this. Put a little bit of pasta water in there. And there we have it. Some carbonara cooked in the middle of nowhere. Let's see how this tastes. So that's our camp spot, and waterfalls up here. Yesterday we did a bunch of hiking back up into there, up above the falls, and this morning some of our crew headed up here, and then they were there a few hours ago, and we don't know exactly where they've gone, but they could be anywhere by now. Some of us did some kind of relaxing back in camp, and it's about 1 o'clock now. We're thinking we're gonna head up here, and who knows, maybe we'll go a little further. We'll see what happens. Beautiful day out though, and these mountains are just towering above our camp. It's incredible. All right, change of plans. We met up with our guys again. They're taking us to some sweet waterfalls that they found and sweet swimming pools, so we're gonna check those out. Keep getting shots of the view, thinking it's the best it's gonna get, but then it just keeps getting better. The last 10 minutes or so is pretty scrambly. Honestly feels like I haven't walked a step all day after that. The scramble down is definitely a lot sketchier than the scramble up. Camp is right down there. So we made it back down. My phone died up, so I didn't film everything, but we were way up here around this corner and like on the other side of this mountain here. It was unbelievable. We thought about going up and over and then coming down somewhere back here, but I don't know how easy that would be. We didn't want to risk it.
So, final day, which means about a 3-hour drive on the trail back to the trailhead, and then from there about 3.5 hours home. We're up early to get a early start and hopefully be home at a decent time.
You guys know I'm a Toyota guy through and through, but one thing that has impressed me on this trip is these stock Jeeps. Noah's has no lift, 29-inch tires, and I think he got it for like $500 or something. And this is like the first real trip he's taken me on. And it just handled every single obstacle this trail threw at it, and even some extra optional lines that he didn't have to take. And Caleb's too, I think he got his for pretty cheap. I think Caleb's only has 31-inch tires and it's stock height as well. And it's just so different from Toyota's, where you can't get a stock 4Runner for $4 or $5 grand nowadays. Never mind getting one that's kind of trail ready for less than 10. Obviously Zach's is very finely tuned for the trail. I think it's only got a 1-inch lift, but he's got 33 stuffed in there, and this thing is just awesome. He's got the full body bed lined in a sand color. I think it looks sick as well.
I was gonna say I should have been at the back. This is the final river crossing before we get back onto the Forestry Service Road. It's one of the tougher ones. We haven't got any fish on yet, so I think we're gonna try and find a couple of fishing spots here. See if we can get something before the trip's over. Alright, we definitely found a spot. We'll see if we can get any fish though. Looks beautiful. Not sure if my other camera is still rolling or not, but I got this little goal. Took us a while, but finally got one. So Zach, yeah. Way up there. That was a solid day. Got to do some wheeling, got to go fishing, got to catch fish, all on my 30th birthday. And now I get to go to town, maybe if I have time, wash this truck, get something to snack on, and go home and see my wife and my family.